Hey everybody! Thank you for joining us. I am sorry I am 4 minutes late. I was having a hard time with my new internet connection and my kids were just not going to get into it. So anyways, welcome to the Gossip Girls broadcast. If this is your first time joining us, hello. I am so glad to have you on. So this is what we normally talk about on Gossip Girls. Pretty much everything. Anything from network marketing, entrepreneurship, business, women's health, women's issues, sex, family, kids, you name it, I'm going to talk about it. So welcome. Tonight, I have a special treat for you guys. I am bringing on two of my girls who I absolutely love. I hold dear to my heart. They are two of my greatest friends that I have met on my journey as an entrepreneur. We all went to Kelowna recently together. It's been a little over a week and a half since we went. So I wanted to check in and see how everyone's doing. I wanted to share the experience with all of you. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in my gal pals and we are going to have a chat. So here we go. Ding. Hi, guys. All right. This Oh, I'm super pumped to have you guys on. This is so exciting. I'm
Right.
never done one interview at a time, not two. So this is
my
fun.
God. Yeah.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking, Emily?
I've got chocolate milk. Gotta
Oh
get
my
my
God.
chocolate.
I almost spewed water everywhere. Yes, I'm only drinking water tonight.
Yeah, I'm drinking water too.
All right, everybody. So I have met these two wonderful ladies on my entrepreneurial journey. I can't talk apparently either, but that's okay. These girls are making huge waves. Now, you might have seen Emily on one of my more recent interviews a couple of weeks ago. We dove into like her journey and what's going on with her. So you kind of know a little bit about Emily already. So let's dive in and talk a little bit about Jess and what's going on with her, what she's got going on, all the things.
Okay.
Let's start there. I know you've got some major things happening. You got some courses coming up, it looks like, some free stuff going on.
Yeah. So I've been in the business with you guys for about a year now. I started last May. I don't know. What do you want to know? Like,
So I know that you've been like really diving into your personal development. You've been diving into your coaching and all that kind of stuff. So tell us a little bit about like some of the courses and stuff that you're taking on right now.
Okay. So, as you know, we're going to be talking about the Awaken event. That was super awesome for me. So I've been kind of dabbling into personal development for about 3 years now. And yeah, I've just really, like invested in myself. And I'm actually doing a one-on-one coaching right now. And I'm going into being a mindset strategist coach and a personal development coach for women. So I'm so excited about that. That's what I'm doing. And I also have a couple of groups and stuff that I'm doing. I'm doing a go live on Saturday at 7 for goal setting. And that's in my Facebook group.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Awesome. So I'm not going to bring that up now, but at the end of the broadcast today, I want to make sure that we let everybody know how they can get in touch with you and stuff. Because if you guys are putting courses and stuff on, sure that people can dive in and do that. So at the end of our broadcast, I'll make sure that we give our shout outs and I'll make sure like we in the comments or something, we put your Facebook groups and stuff so that everybody can dive in, guys. I'm just going to check my agenda here. So Emily, let's start with you. I had the privilege of driving like all 8 hours with your mother, bless her heart.
Yep.
Going to Kelowna. It was so much fun. And then we got to like bunk out together. That was super fun too. So I want to go into how you guys felt going into Awaken. So before class, the day that we were there, signing up, registering, how did you guys feel? What was the feeling you guys were having?
Do you want to go first, Jessica?
Sure. Or yeah. I felt like so nervous. Like I went a day before just so I could kind of like regroup and kind of get into the Kelowna scene. And then registration came and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna do. Like I was so and I feel like I say that for everything. Like every time I get nervous, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like so nervous. And then once I got there, it was fine. Like it was yeah. And then I wasn't really nervous to like start the class. I was just didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Like I didn't really know what it was, right?
Yeah. What about you, Em?
So mine was a little bit opposite. I was really I was nervous to go because I wasn't sure of the experience I was going to have, but I was really open-minded. It was my third time going to a personal development this year. So I was really open-minded. I, again, didn't know what to expect, but I wasn't really nervous. I was just excited. I was excited to go to Kelowna, to get out of Canberra, to hang out with you, Ashley, to hang out with you, Jessica. It was so good. I was just really excited about the experience. So I wasn't nervous at all. So
see, and I was scared shitless. I was like, what have I signed myself up for? Like everyone I talked to who had gone to this was like, the first rule about Fight Club is you can't talk about Fight Club. So I was like, well, shit.
What happens?
I'm just throwing caution to the wind and diving into something that I have no idea what I'm doing. Because I've gone to events before, but I've never really gone to something that honed in so deeply into your personal self and putting out all of those old emotions and feelings and memories. And I was so terrified of what was going to be brought up. And I still don't know why I was so scared of that. I was like, I guess it's just facing the truth. And you're like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I'm ready to face the truth yet.
Well, not only that, I think it's the fear of unknown too, right? You don't know what's going to happen. So you're like, oh, I don't know, unknown.
Yeah.
That's
way
how I
out of
your zone. Other ones. No, I get it.
It was 3 days of getting out of your comfort zone for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so day one, I felt like once I really got into it, I wasn't nervous anymore. It started to become fun. I started to have a lot of excitement. But there was definitely still some parts of me that were holding back. Not gonna lie. I was like, I'm still not ready for that. I'm not ready to express myself in that way. Day 3 was probably the biggest day for me. But how did you guys feel by the end of day 1? Yes.
I'll go first. I felt good. I was kind of like you. I definitely held back because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who the people were. Kind of all those things, right? I've never met anyone. But yeah, then day 2, I kind of opened up a little bit more. And then I think day 3 was day 2 was when I really had that emotional, ugly cry breakdown. And I was like, blah, my life.
Hey, you disappeared for a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to leave because I don't cry in front, I don't like crying in front of people, right? Yeah. So I was just so emotional from that one experience that I was like, I have to go. And I didn't tell anyone where I was going, so yeah. And then I just sat on the curb and cried. Yeah. People probably thought I was a crackhead or something.
What about you, Emily? How did you feel at the end of day 1?
The end of day 1, I felt really I guess more open because I was super shy and very intimidated the first day. The first, going into the lobby and finding your seats. Again, I didn't know anybody. I've only kind of knew some of these people by seeing their names online. And I'm I'm the new chick. And I was just oh my God, what's going to happen? And then, yeah, by the end of day 1, meeting friends, we didn't even see each other. No. Breaks and lunchtime. We were just off meeting people and, talking to people, which I thought was really cool. So again, I felt really open by the end of the first day. The second day, meeting new friends, adding people up and getting more into detail, knowing them. And then by the third day, you're just everybody's best friends.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I'm just going to take a step back actually, because I didn't really explain what Awaken really is. So for those of you that don't know what Awaken is, Todd Campbell, this amazing amazing human being, puts on, it's a trilogy series. There's 3 different courses that you can take. Course 1 is called Awaken. Then you move up to Activate, and then you move to Accelerate. Now, Awaken is just a 3-day course. It's more about taking action and bringing up old blocks and things that might be stopping you from reaching your goals, and trying to understand a lot more about yourself and your inner being, and how to activate that, bring that up, get that going. It's absolutely amazing, super emotional, but totally worth it. And once you move on to the other trilogies, those are full immersion. Like, you're 7 days in a house with all the people that signed up, and you really bring out your leadership role or your business role, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in your life. He brings it out of you. And I can't wait to go to the other courses. Like, I'm so excited for those. But Awaken was absolutely amazing, and I enjoyed every minute of it. For me, end of day 1, I was jacked. I was full of so much energy, like just the energy in the room, having all those people having the same feelings as you, and knowing like, okay, that wasn't so bad. Day 1 wasn't so bad. I had a lot of fun. So I remember like we had gone back to the room that night. We like made some pizzas, we hung out, we chatted, slept really good, woke up in the morning, hammered out a workout, was ready for day 2. Now, day 2 for me, super fun. Like, that was where we learned like the personality traits and how to communicate with different personality traits. So that was really fun. However, did he not come crashing down on us the end? Like, I remember Emily came up to me at the end of day 2 and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I was kind of okay, kind of not okay. I was like, yes, no, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, and then I left you alone for a good like hour. I went and visited some other friends while she just kind of, hung out in the room to herself. She did her journaling, and she definitely, I think you needed that time. So I think that was good.
Yeah, no, I totally did. I like zoned out. I just focused on the assignment he had given us. I really reflected like right back to the beginning of that assignment at the end of the day, right to like how I walked into that other room, how I sat down, how I carried myself, how I blended in with everybody, how I just sort of went with the flow, and we dove back into our competitive nature. And I just couldn't believe how quickly we can revert back to our old programming. Crazy. Like, absolutely insane. So I don't know about you guys. How did you feel at the end of day 2?
Really tired and kind of, like almost like overwhelmed, like those like prompts and learning how that experience, how you like interpret, is that a word?
Interpret.
How you like interpret into your life and how you're showing up in your own life like that. So that was really cool to be able to experience that and be like, holy shit, like this is what I've been doing. And you don't even realize it until you go through that experience, right?
Yeah.
So
that's what I loved about this whole thing, was that it was all about the experience. Like, you have to experience it to really understand it.
Yeah.
What about you, Em? Because I know you went and visited for a while, and then we both kind of passed out.
Yeah, so I went and visited some friends that I haven't seen for a long time. So I was like going to squeeze in a half an hour, whatever. I ended up being there an hour, but again, it helped you, you got your time. Then I got back and I did my journaling. We both had our headphones in. Basically, it was like we didn't even realize each other was in the room. That's how in our minds we were, really. So I came across a lot, like in my journaling as well, like a lot of, I don't even know how to explain it, like just like aha moments that are like really hard to explain. Again, it's the experience. And then we did a couple closed eyes, whatever you want to call it, exercises, that one meditation. And yeah, it definitely helped me sleep. And it was an overwhelming, energizing day. But when I woke up the next day, we did go work out the next day. Again, it felt so good. I was refreshed, even though I was up late. I was journaling. It just felt so good after.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And going into day 3, I had like this new outlook on everything. Oh, hey, Todd popped on. Hey, Todd.
Rita. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I felt like, I don't know, I felt refreshed. I felt like I had this new energy. My eyes were open to that whole experience. And like, even when we left the room at the end of day 2, I wasn't crying out of sadness, right?
Mhm.
I was just crying out of a realization. Like I had come into something of my own power, and I was like, wow, like I totally realize what I want now and where I want to go. And that the part of me, that really competitive side of me, and I think being competitive is a healthy thing. Like you should, like my mom said when I told her about it, she's like, Ashley, you were born competitive. Like you've always just been that way. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I shouldn't control me, and I shouldn't let it control certain aspects of my life either. So for me, coming into the room in day 3, I was just like, I'm so ready to take on anything right now. And one of the things that I was super, super stoked on getting up on stage, because for me personally, that was a big, like, I'm not doing it. I always wanted to, and I could always feel this voice inside of me going, get on stage, get on stage, get on stage. And yet I couldn't grab the microphone. I couldn't put my hand up to say I wanted to share. I couldn't just get up onto that stage. And when I finally did grab that microphone, and even though I totally ugly cried on stage in front of like 70 people, which whatever, I don't even care anymore. Afterwards, I was like, that's what I want to do. Like, that's my power. I want to speak to people. I want to share my values, share my story, and help others get over their fears and their blocks and just change lives. Like, it was such a great experience. I just loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
Right?
It was so good.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too, Ash, when you said like just being up on stage, because like I went off right after you and I was super nervous. Yeah, and it was like the most changing experience for me, because that's my thing, right? I don't like even talking one-on-one to people, so it's like talking to like 70 people was like, holy shit, like I'm so freaking powerful. Right? Like, and it's like I just really found my voice in that one moment, right?
Yeah, you totally did.
Oh yeah.
And I loved you were so funny when you jumped up on stage and you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna puke, poop, or pee.
Oh my god. And then when I passed the mic back to the next girl, I was like, sorry if it's sweaty. And like the mic was still on. Everyone was like, oh god.
I think that's one thing that I really like about you, Jess, is that you, I don't know, you come across with like this almost social awkwardness, but you
But you own it. She owns it. And
exactly. And people are like, people will resonate with that. Girls will be like, I'm her.
Right?
That girl that's gonna
it was actually funny too, because when we were going around doing the greeting exercise, the one that felt the most to me was the skeptical one, because that's how I am. I'm always like, oh my god, like what? Like so awkward, so it just felt normal. So that was really weird for me to like kind of see, right? But
that's awesome. I love it. So Emily, you did actually mention like you had like an aha moment, which is great because I wanted to dive into that. So if you had to pick one moment that really stood out to you, that one explosion, total eye-opening, mind-blown moment, what would it be, Em?
Well, I would say my aha moment kind of happened after I was home. It happened actually like the other night.
Right.
I was looking through pictures of Paxton and I had music playing in the background and this one song came on. I don't know if you guys heard it. It's called Better Place by Rachel, whatever her name is. And for some reason, the words went in my head and I'm looking at these pictures and I just break down and I cry. And then Jared, my husband, looks at me. He's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I seriously just had a moment of like, it's not about money, it's about moments. And like just looking at the pictures, because I'm, trying to pick one, and all these moments we had that were so great, like camping and fishing, and road trips and birthday parties and just all the fun stuff we've done with him. Like, and the song on, it was just like, my mind was just like, oh my God, here's my aha moment. And like, I understand like money is not everything and stuff like that, but money is important. But it was just like, wow, these moments are so precious that it's not about the money. It's not like, hey, I'll buy you something. Here's a treat and here's a toy and stuff like that. So I definitely had it after the fact. Like, I was still really emotional. I still had lots of experiences, but my big aha moment happened like a couple days after we got home.
Cool. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. What about you, Jess?
My aha moment was when I was up on stage talking. I don't really remember it because I think I blacked out because I was so scared. But yeah, like I've never felt more in line with myself. Like I've never felt like my voice mattered as much as it did because I had all 70 ears and all 70 eyes on me. And you know, nobody was, you know, like talking to each other, like whispering, like all these like things that I had in my brain, like, oh, people are going to be doing this. My aha moment was literally like you're in your own mind, like get out of your mind. Like things you're not gonna die. Like,
but did you die?
No, right? Like, I didn't. I survived. I'm a survivor. Oh my God.
There it is. There's the singing. I knew you were gonna bust that out at some point tonight.
I love it. I love it.
Oh God. Okay. Next question. Let's go.
Oh my God. My aha moment was during the 2 chairs meditation. When we brought up our like little selves, like our 5-year-old child, that was like, I freaking broke down. Like I was probably one of those people meditating going, like I can't breathe. And I couldn't figure out why until I went home and journaled. And then I was like, because my kids are that age now. So for me, it was like my little girl self who could have done anything at any time. Nothing was ever going to stop her. I actually even remembered a memory from when I was a kid and my dad had ran into the grocery store and I was he has an old classic car, a 66 Impala. And I was in that car and Bob Seger was playing and I was like singing at the top of my lungs to Bob Seger when I was like 5 or 6 years old. Everyone's staring at me and I didn't care, right? Didn't care, didn't give no fucks, 0 fucks were given. And yet, you know, one bad experience as I got older, that little girl got shut down, right? So being able to bring her back over that weekend was huge for me. And then also thinking about how I want my children to always be like that little girl. Always know that anything and everything is possible no matter what. It doesn't matter what other people say about you. That's one thing that I love that Todd also says is, you know, what other people think of you is none of your business. I think that's huge. And I think that's something that really resonated with me because I was always that kid that wanted to please everyone and, you know, wanted to be friends with everyone, but I got left out and bullied and all those things. So that little girl just got pushed down deeper and deeper and deeper because I kept trying to be somebody I wasn't. I kept trying to fit in with the crowds that didn't matter. Like those people didn't matter, right? Like I don't even know those people now to this day. So that's my big moment. What else we on the agenda, ladies? Ooh, energy. I wanted to really talk about this one. So what have you guys been doing since you've been home to keep the energy alive, keep the flow going, you know, making sure that everything you learned didn't just go one ear and out the other? Jess, we'll start with you.
So I, like all of my journaling prompts and everything that I did when I was in Kelowna, I go back to those a lot. And one thing that I do in my journaling is I always like write out how I'm feeling in that moment. And so I just keep going back to like the feelings and then it like gets me excited and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm so awesome, you know, like, and, and I've been doing like lots and lots of affirmations and stuff. And I actually switched like my theme of affirmations, I guess, since coming home. So that's been awesome to kind of like bring me up here.
Yeah.
And and just like stepping into my power and, you know, creating my courses and being more involved in the online space and like coming on lives and, you know, doing stuff like this. It's just like keeping my vibration up because I'm not going back down to that. It's like, you know?
Yes, I get it. Totally get it. I love it. Love it. What about you, Em? What have you been up to the last week and a half?
Almost like the same thing with Jess. Like, I'm not like going back and reading my journal. I'm still doing like my gratitude and stuff like that. But I remember him saying like nervous and excited are almost like the same thing, or anxiety and excitement are like the same things. And so when I feel like I have anxiety coming on over something, I'm always like, hey, I'm not nervous. I'm excited. I do that. And it's like that anxiety just like instantly goes away. That's like one thing that I definitely took away from the event. I love that
because I've been doing that too. Like anytime I feel like anxious about anything, I'm like, I'm not anxious. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. And I just keep it totally works. It just all of a sudden you just feel like calm and collected. Like, oh, I'm so ready to take this on. Like, no big deal. Whereas before I would have been like,
like it totally like switches and tricks your brain, right? Like you're like, oh my God, I'm like nervous, sweating. I'm like, and then you're like, no, I'm actually like freaking pumped. Like I'm so excited. And your brain's like, oh, okay. And then it's like, and then okay.
And then like the sweating goes away and you don't feel that anymore. Cause like, wasn't it Jeff that said in a study, Jeff Hughes, he had said in a study they had done, that the people that told themselves they were excited, there was 0 cortisol released in their system, which that's where your stress hormone comes from, right? Is cortisol. So if you're telling yourself like over and over again that you're anxious and you're scared and you're freaking out, of course cortisol is going to be released into your system. It's just the way the brain works. You know, basically when we say like your thoughts pave your future, it's literal because like every thought you have controls every hormone, every thought process, every feeling, every reaction, every behavior comes from the way you think. Period, right? It's crazy. Okay, I wanted to just touch base on one little thing. Do you guys did you guys have any triggers, and are you finding that it's easier now to recognize those triggers and deal with them?
Emily, you can do this first.
Okay, well, this subject I kind of touched on a little bit in February when I did go to another course. It was all about kind of the triggers and how to find them and how to deal with them. So I have had practice experience on that. So I would say yes, but I maybe kind of was familiar with the idea, I guess. So like a trigger for me is when somebody tells me something and it's almost like I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know the result. It's just almost like they say something, there's not enough detail. It's just like all these ideas and all these thoughts come to my head. And then the anxiety starts and the panic and the questions, like the word vomit questions, which I've learned to recognize the feeling when it's about to happen and stuff like that. And instead of letting it trigger all the negative thoughts and whirlwind of everything else, I've learned to stop that and calm down. No, it's okay. Everything will be fine. There's nothing to get worked up over, stuff like that. So I have had a little bit of practice with that. So Jess, you?
kind of the same thing. Like I do notice when, like, even before I was like, Keegan, tell me what's going on. Like, tell me what's the event. You know, I was like, freaking out about it because I didn't know what to expect. And I like structure. I like routine. I like to know the itinerary. Like, what are we doing every minute of every day, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But again, like I've learned kind of to like step back from that because it doesn't serve me. Like it just it just doesn't make me a better person, I guess. Another thing too is just literally like walking into a room of people triggers my anxiety, and it triggers my negative thoughts like, oh my gosh, like, you know, are these striped pants too much? Like, you know, like nobody else is dressed up. Like, and then I'm like, no, like it's fine. Like I'm being me, I'm wearing what I want to wear. And yeah, and I honestly, yeah, on day 1 of Awaken, I probably went through like 4 outfits before I went. Then the last day, I was like, "Fuck it! Like I'm wearing what I want to wear." Like it was so different, right? So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
That's
What about
great.
you? Yeah.
My trigger, money is always my trigger.
Yeah.
Finances. Like Chris brings something up and I used to just shut down, or I'd get angry and I'd be like, I don't want to fucking talk about it. Like I would get like instantly snappy. Like, and then he'd get mad at me because he'd be like, why can't you just have a conversation like an adult? And I'd be like, because I don't want to have this fucking conversation.
You're like, I don't want an adult.
I want an adult. Yeah, I don't want to put my big girl panties on today. Leave me alone. But even now, like, it's really hard for me still. You know, like he will come home with a quote for, you know, new tires for his truck because he needs new summer tires. And right away, I'm like, right away, my mind goes, where are we going to come up with the money? How are we going to do this? Where's that going to come from? Well, how much is it going to cost? Like I instantly go to that like negative mindset. And I know that it totally stems from, again, when I was a kid and dealing with all of that kind of stuff, because, you know, my dad always worked really, really hard. He was away a lot. He had to work away a lot. And then, you know, moving forward into closer to my teenage years, my parents had their own brick and mortar business and they were doing really, really well. And that got swept from under them when they were, you know, at the peak of their business. And we had to file for bankruptcy. My dad had to work away again. Like we lost everything, right? So for me, money is a big trigger. So that's something that I've really been working on, and to just like calm down, go into my little workshop, see my screen of the mind, take a deep breath, relax, and, you know, not have to worry about the money, because the money will always be there. Money is just energy. It has to go out to come in. It's just like breathing. You inhale and exhale, right? It's the same thing. So that's something that I've really been working on, is just because it never bothers Chris. It always just bothers me. So whenever he brings it up, I just have to like remember to like take a step back. Don't have attitude, because I instantly get snappy.
Like word vomits just come out.
Yeah, it's like blah, blah.
Yeah, and then you can't hold yourself back. And that was like the same, almost kind of same thing. It wasn't really money, but it was almost like the same trigger. You just can't, it controlled you really.
Yeah, totally. So it's a work in progress. Definitely not perfect. I will probably still snap at him sometimes, but I'm catching myself. I'm being more aware of it. And that's what I'm really proud of, is that I'm aware of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
That says we're amazing. So I want to talk about our routines. So has your routine changed at all since you got home? Have you stepped it up a little? Are you doing anything different?
Yeah. So like in the mornings, I'm still doing my gratitude, and I'm trying to incorporate a little bit of more of the visualization and meditations, because those at the event were so powerful. Like it was just like my absolute favorite part of the whole thing. And I'm also actually like scheduling in time for my online business. What I would do before is I would just work my 10 to 7 or whatever, and then get home and be like, oh, well, I don't have time. Like it's 7 o'clock. But it's like, I don't go to bed till 10. So why can't I have those 3 hours? Right. Yeah. And it was just like keeping my word, like how Todd was saying, you know, like you have to keep your word, because that's the most important thing to you, right? Like and so I've been saying like, okay, I'm gonna be more on top of this. So I've been scheduling myself at least like 2 to 3 hours a day, and which I'm like finding time for, right? Like it was weird, because before I was like, I have no time, and now that I'm doing it and I'm getting shit done, and I've been really active on my Facebook and in my groups, and with like, yeah, just bringing like a bunch of value to everyone. So
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's funny because now it's like you're making it a priority.
Yeah.
Whereas before you were like, well, I worked all day.
Yeah.
Clock. Like I just want to chill. Right.
Yeah.
And now you're like, no, like if I want my life to change, I have to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And before too, like with my belief that my voice doesn't matter and I'm not, you know, good enough, I'm not going to be successful. And then after Awaken, I was like, I am fucking awesome. Like my voice is awesome. Like people, like, you know what? I have a lot of value to share. I have a lot of knowledge. I'm very like, very well up there. Like I've done a lot of personal development events. And so I was like, why not? Right? Like, why not just like step into that and just see where it takes me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're done being scared of what's going to happen. Right? Because we control our futures. If we control them, then why are we so fucking scared? Right?
Yeah.
We control that path. We know where we want to go and how we want it to end. So why are we scared? Right?
Yeah, totally.
So funny. So funny. Okay, you. What's your routine like?
I've kind of like, so I was really good at time blocking before, but I've kind of changed the way that I do time block now. So again, like I work full time as well. I'm usually working till 4. And sometimes, you know, I'll schedule a little bit of time for myself. But when we get home, I focus on like, you know, feeding my family and then hanging out with my kid. And then once he goes to bed, then it's okay. Nose to the grind, work on business, working more ads, stuff like that. Because before, I wasn't
Sorry,
like,
my kids just ran in the room, so we may have, there's chaos. No, you guys.
Yeah, so what I was saying was,
sorry.
That's okay.
You make time for your family, and I'm just kicking mine out of the room.
Oh, that's okay. So yeah, so I basically like spend more time with Paxton. I try to not work more business, but he's been working out with me, so I guess that changed in a sense. Like I'm scheduling more time into working out because before, like Jess said, I'd be like, oh, I don't have time. I worked all day. I'm tired. You know, put my kid to bed, played with him all afternoon. Now I got to work on business and, you know, have a bath for myself. And it's like, if I can just get in like 45 minutes to a half an hour, I can say I did it and it's done. And that's a step forward to my health and being fit. So like, I guess that's how my routine has changed a bit. I just definitely like time block differently and changing up my priorities and what I got to do. So
yeah, that's awesome. Sorry guys, 1 second.
That's okay. Yeah, I totally. Sorry, what?
I was just gonna say mine's sleeping right now. So
I don't have any. I was gonna say too, that it's even that little half hour, right? If you do that little half hour, then maybe next time just add a little bit more and a little bit more, and then eventually you'll be good to go. Like, same with business, right? Like if you just do half hour each day, you're half an hour closer to the end result, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've changed my routine up a little bit. Like whereas before I would write out like 10 things I was grateful for. Now I've kind of brought it down a little bit, but I expand more on those 3 things. So I do 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for. I expand on them quite a bit. Then I drop into my I am affirmations, and then I journal about how I want my day to go. And then I'll sit back and I do about 10 minutes of screen of the mind, really get in. I see how I want my day to turn out. I see the final product. I, really concentrate on my breathing and dive really deep into it. And then, I'll dive into business for a little while. I'll make sure my kids are fed and everybody's happy, dive into my business for a couple of hours. And then I kind of just, I check my messages randomly here and there, but for the most part, I put my phone away. And actually the other day, I was telling this to Carly, I completely unplugged. Like I didn't even turn my Wi-Fi on until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was like, oh, that felt so good. I'm doing that more often. Like it just felt good to not give a shit for 5 minutes, like to just unplug, be there with my family. It was my husband's last day off before he went back to work. We enjoyed time with the kids in the hot tub. We meal prepped. We worked out together. We just did a lot of family stuff together, right? And it felt so amazing. And I just felt refreshed. And like I said to Carly, I'm like, I'm doing that like once every 2 weeks, like maybe even more. Like I'm just going to take a day not touch my phone. Just put it down, put it away. Concentrate on the things around me. Because like Jang even said when we were at the conference, he was like, you know, if you concentrate on the fun things, the business things will come, right? But you can't force it, because then there's going to be that resistance there, and you're going to come off as desperate and needy, and you're not going to attract the clients that you want in the first place, right? So yeah, it was really nice to unplug, and I'm enjoying my new routine of just like not feeling like I have to rush into anything in the morning. I just wake up, I do my thing, I take my time, and the rest comes. It's awesome. It's a great realization for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to dive into new and exciting adventures, investing in yourself, and then we'll move into future plans and wrap it up. So yeah, Jess, we talked a little bit about this already. You're investing in yourself. You've taken on some new courses. You're doing some new things. So let's talk about that. And when we're done, I'll have you mention your Facebook groups and where we can find you.
Okay, cool. So for the last, I guess, week, I've decided to jump into one-on-one coaching, because with the affiliate marketing, which is what I also do, for those of you who don't know.
Insert plug here.
So with the affiliate marketing, it really opened up a lot of doors for me, but I was just too scared to kind of like act on those. And I thought that I needed to do like just one thing at a time and, you know, not kind of dive into anything. But then after Awaken and, you know, finding my voice, I really looked at what I want to do, like what I need to do. So I've decided to jump into the path of being a coach and being a mindset strategist coach, because I want to help women with their personal development, and I want to help women kind of crush their limiting beliefs so they can have a happy and successful life. I always struggle with that word. Like today I was like, a happy and sexful life.
Nice. Well, we want that too, but
so I just decided to do that because that's what I feel really aligned to do, because it, like, personal development has helped me so much. And so, yeah, I just decided, like, why not take the jump, take the risk, invest in this, and just see where it goes, because the only way that I can fail is if I quit, right? So
that's amazing. So you have a Facebook group going right now. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? And then we'll make sure we put it in the comments so that everybody who wants to join your group can.
Okay. Yeah. So it is a Facebook group. It's called Jessica Rylee, and that's me. So yeah, it's basically just a group with like high vibe women, and it's about a bunch of inspiration and value, like so much value. You can go in there and like post about yourself, tell your story, just kind of like a place for women to get support and motivation and tips and tricks on happy and successful life. And then do you want me to like dive into like my little group thing that I'm doing, like my live?
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah.
And so I'm actually doing a live right now on Saturday, actually, so not right now. But Saturday 17th, I think, or the 16th. I'm so bad. At 7 p.m.
It's Saturday at 7.
Yeah, this Saturday at 7 p.m. Catch a girl. She's gonna be just a live video about goal setting and, you know, how to make a goal and how to basically set your goal up for success, so you're not going into it with fear of failure. So it's gonna be about 40 minutes to an hour long, I'm hoping. Sometimes I talk really fast, so it might be like 5 minutes, but it's free. Yeah, it's free. And then there's going to be a kind of surprise thing at the end, and there's also going to be a prize giveaway. So I'm like super excited. Yeah, and this is crazy too, because I would have never done something like this, you know, because it's like scary. But
and you've done it so quickly. It was boom, all of a sudden there was a group, and then there's a course, and I was like, man, this girl is not fucking around. She is
I know.
Getting shit done. I love it.
Fire.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
afterwards, Jess, what we'll do is when this is all posted up, I'll just get you to go into the comments and put in your group information so that anyone who wants it can click the link and join your group. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. So Em, what's going on with you, girl?
Well, so ever since coming home, I guess, I've started lives on my channel as well. So that was huge for me because I've kind of been like, oh, I'm scared to do lives again. I used to do lives a lot, but for some reason it just I sunk back in a hole and I got really scared. So definitely been doing that. I also have a little support group. Mine is still working its way up, and I am currently in the process of training. So investing in myself again. I'm actually doing a lot of training right now. Also to become a life coach, but I think more of like a spiritual. I like to do the crystal healing, the chakras, a little more yoga, stuff like that. So these are courses that I am working on. So I'm doing my homework, doing my training, and getting that put together. I don't know when that will be out, but it is in a work in progress, and I am doing my homework, doing what I need to do to get that to you guys. So if it's okay, I will also comment mine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Drop your info in the comments because I know people want this information. So I'm that I can get it out there for you guys.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So for me, I had quite a few realizations coming home of like my end goal is I do want to have an event. I want it to be a parent and child together event.
I love that. I love that.
And because I was just kind of thinking about it on the way home. I was like, I was bullied as a kid, but my mom gave me so many tools to stay strong so that I was still a successful person. I was still a straight A student. I was still a top athlete. I still kicked ass when I wanted to. And like, thank you, Mom, because I can actually remember, side note, I was being bullied by a girl once. She was bullying me all the time. I was coming home every day crying. My mom said, the next time that she does this to you, she's like, just punch her because enough's enough. Girls got to know what's going on. And I actually don't remember doing this, but my mom remembers coming to pick me up from school and me freaking punching this chick in the face. Totally don't remember doing it, but like that was the type of person my mom was, right? She was like, stand up for what you believe in. Your voice matters. Who gives a shit about what all these other people have to say about you, right? Sorry, guys. My daughter is like, she's got like a string tied to one of my son's cars and she's like running around the house. So this frick like bouncing and like making a racket. But anyways, mom life, right? Yeah. So I really want to have a parent-child together course. And because fitness is one of my passions, I absolutely love working out and being healthy and eating clean and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing, hey, no, you guys, I need you to go play in the other room, okay? Because you're too loud. Sorry. So the very first thing that I want to make sure we all do is exercise. So when everybody comes to class first thing in the morning, we're going to get moving. We're going to get the blood flow going. I think that's a great way to break the ice because no one looks awesome when they work out. We all look like heroes. So I think that's just a good icebreaker. It'll, warm everybody up, get your brain moving because I know I function better after I work out, getting the blood going and everything. So that's where I want to end up. That'll be my end goal. And we're like personal development and breaking those habits, giving your children the proper tools and the proper guidance to never have to worry, never have to, feel like they're not enough, and parents the proper tools so that they learn how to speak to their children in a better way, right? So that they don't grow up, always being told no, always being talked down to. I want kids to be spirited and uplifted. And just like Todd said, you know, if we could approach everything in life with that childlike awe and awareness and belief, anything and everything is possible. So that's my end goal for sure. Like, and I mean, we're looking a couple years down the road probably, but that's fine. I know that that's what I want to do in the end. But right now I'm working on building a course actually with a girlfriend of mine. We're going to help people with marketing and entrepreneurship and starting their online businesses. So that's something that we're going to roll out. But my big thing, my podcast is coming out, baby. I said soon, and it's going to be much sooner. So super stoked for that. Woo! Channel going. So I cannot wait to get my podcast. Like, I'm so freaking pumped for that. It like lights my soul on fire.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for you. You've been talking about that for so long. Like, so long.
I know, right? And it was always like, I always just kept sitting there going, well, followers. Well, no, there's not enough. I don't have a big enough following. I haven't made that much money yet. I'm not super successful. And then I was like, you know what? I have 31 years of fucking life experience.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been married for 10 years, which a lot of women my age haven't. So I
haven't even been alive for 10 years. No, just kidding.
But I have a voice. I have experiences. I have life things to share. And I think getting my podcast out there is going to be really amazing. So that is happening, ladies. I'm making it happen. Yay. So thank you guys so much. It's almost been an hour, so that's fantastic. Thank you for being on my show. I absolutely love having you, sharing our experiences. You know, I can't wait for our next event together. It's going to be magical.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So once this is closed and uploaded, just make sure you check back in, everybody, because the girls will be posting their information and all of their group stuff, their courses, the things that they're in. So that if you guys are interested, you can click on the link and check out these sexy ladies and all the awesome stuff. We're on fire, girls. Mwah. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I love and appreciate you all, and I will see you on Thursday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Mwah. Everybody.
Bye.